All right. I think I can be heard just getting in the building. See who up in here. Yeah, don't run. Y'all niggas do not run from Mr. Gillespie, Professor Gills. What a good program we had yesterday. I'm eager to see what the people have learned and what they learned today. Silence is not an option. That's not even heard of at KevRow University. There is no running. There is no silence. No. No, even though I know that there is. No, let everybody stand convicted under the law. Press 1. I know you're going to be silent, but that's where you got to come out of. Redemption starts with you. Press 1, hit that like button, subscribe. I'm waiting on you. See, we not raising up fearful men here. Oh no, there's a Bible verse in Romans 3:18 and 20. Press 1. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that whatever the law says, it says to those who are under the law, so that every mouth may be silenced and the whole world held accountable to God. Therefore, no one will be declared righteous in God's sight by the works of the law. Rather, through the law, we become conscious of our sin. Wow. You can run if you want to. That's okay. But those who want to speak and have the urgency to say, wait a minute, is this where we went wrong? Not afraid. KevRow is where you are now. I've been breaking down the Nation of Islam and their participation as black Nazis in the black genocide of those who fell just a few grandmas ago. And people say they was here, they with us, and all that. When the truth get to coming down, ain't nobody gonna be there for us. We have to be there for us. Hit the like button and subscribe. I'm proving up I'm proving all that I can prove, but there's other people out there that is doing what adding to what we do here at KevRow University, and I got to shout those people out. It's not many, but it is real. And when people go out and do their notes and whatever they call it and send me things and say, Kev, you absolutely right. Look at this. It adds to the subject matter. And that's the only reason why I ask, brothers, y'all doing your homework, because there ain't no homework to be had. It's, could you add to the program? That's all I'm saying. Could you add to it? That's it. KevRow University and the destruction of the the ideological subversion that happened here now. We just found out yesterday that the Nation of Islam was funded by the German Bund founder. Press 1. Anybody know his name? Anybody know his name? The German Bund guy we brought up yesterday? What was his name? George Lincoln Rockwell. Press 1. George Lincoln Rockwell. And that was already big. That's already like, wait a minute. You guys are funded by Nazis? The Nazis created them. Yes, funded them. You may be saying, why? Because Elijah Muhammad helped with the genocide. and the dolls and all of these things to help remove you from your land. They were involved in it. They were contracted to do that. That's on them. Okay? Shout out to Karen. Good to see y'all this morning. So we learned Rockwell, but I took it even further. Press one. Took it even further. The unknown relationship between the KKK and the Nation of Islam. So much was discussed in the last program. What up, Bocat? So much was discussed. Malcolm found out that Rockwell and all of these other neo-Nazis were the funders of the Nation of Islam. Huh? No, this ain't no light work. No, you can't be afraid over here. No. Malcolm found out. Malcolm didn't get silenced because of what he said about Elijah Muhammad and all that with the with the children, that whatever that was. No. It was more that he exposed at the time that Rockwell, the German Bund, were funding the Nation of Islam that whole time. And that the Nation of Islam was a front for white supremacy. Thank you, Amanda. Yes, the German Bund funded it. Yes. So if you don't know what Rockwell is, press one. I'm going to show us a nice little snippet. No, we're going to work this year because Kev taking notes, right? So I'm going to help y'all. We all going to take these notes together. Don't run, because I'm right here taking notes now. Look, Rockwell Nazi. Press one. Yep. So let's go. This is interesting. The fact that we now know this. Look. No more Negroes. Take them to Africa. Take them to Africa. We are immigrants. Take their ass to a new place. Press one. And Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, Noble Jew Ali are all funded by who? Who? Come on. We. That's why I say you better do something. You better learn how to speak. Cartoon 5 Trey. Avalon Gangster Crip changed his life. It's time to speak. Ali, the Catholics. Ali, by way of what? Rockwell. We gonna get there, Ali like, hey, Catholics. Rockwell. All right. So by way of Rockwell, they're gonna go back and, well, thank you, Ali. You absolutely right. You must be answering. Who funded Noble Jew Ali, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X by way of Nation of Islam? One, Elijah Muhammad was given a whole plantation, a whole freedom land. Press one. There might be the pictures from Elijah Muhammad farm. Press one, because guess who gave him a big old plantation? Mr. Rockwell. Press one. Gave him a whole house, a car, dog, more houses. Where they was getting the money from? Where were they getting the money from? I'm finna prove it. We finna shut it down. Press one.
You testified before today is of the Jewish faith.
Are all of them?
Every member. Now, how do you feel they treated you?
Well, I think that they backed off a lot from what I think they were going to try to do. And I think the fact that a committee of the legislature of the state of New York is composed entirely of Jews bespeaks something which I think is wrong with our country. I don't think that it's right that any group should monopolize an entire section of our legislature.
Mr. Rockwell, you have come before hearings and other meetings dressed in uniform. Why are you not dressed in the uniform today?
I have never come before any hearing dressed in a uniform. I use the uniform to agitate. When Martin Luther King is out in the streets agitating, why?
Martin Luther King out there agitating. They're all being played off of one another.
I agitate back, and the uniform is very good for agitating.
So I'll just agitate. That's my life, and that's what I do. I'm a living troll.
For appearing before a hearing, it's a mental battle of wits, not a battle.
Don't he look like Alan? Don't he look like the Alan from back in the day? You know who I'm talking about, AI.
Of agitation.
This is the Order of the Black Sun. Alan Turing looking ass. Look. Black officer, get your white ass over here. Look, come here. That was us. Look, you see how they dress? They just agitate. Look. America is for whites. Corporate America is for whites. Who are these people right here? Who are the black people? It's the other side. It's like Israel and Palestine. Malcolm X was right. Press what? I told you. Press what? No. Malcolm X was right. Malcolm X was right. Elijah Muhammad, y'all leader, is right. Get out of here. Press one. Look. Malcolm was right. They used the Nation of Islam against Dr. Martin Luther King. Look.
Thank you. I see some white people have finally gathered together, and you see that we're in spirit, at least we're unified. I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you will stick together, that's the key. If you will cut out squabbling with each other, stick together, stop quarreling about names, we can have our country once again free. We can have it once again white. We can have it once again Christian. And above all, ladies and gentlemen, we can have it once again a Christian American republic with a wholesome atmosphere that every American can be proud of. I thank you all very much.
Shit. Separation or death. Remember that? Remember the ultimatum? Didn't we just talk about this? Didn't we just talk about that? All right. We just said this yesterday. What would you get the ultimatum? Ain't that what we said? What would you do? Be called in. Be called in. And he was like, man, Malcolm, this person, or I think it was Martin Luther King did this. I said, what was the ultimatum? Go inside the furnace or serve? So this is this is real. Okay? The Nazi Party showing up to black folk, excuse me, Nation of Islam stuff. Look. Hype did a video on it. The secret relationship between KKK and the Nation of Islam. Yup. Did a nice little piece on it. You got to start doing your homework. But who was masterminding the whole time? Ali said it earlier. Ali, yeah, you got it. But Martin Luther King was a Catholic who probably was like Nat Turner, raised Catholic. Then you start realizing, what? Wait a minute. He's talking about us. Press 1. That's what happened to me. Wait a minute. Naturally. Wait a minute. As I read, this book is about us, damn it. You know? So that's the beginning of it. The hard part is proving it. That's when the story begins. Like, damn. He did all this? Mm-hmm. He did more than that. Mr. Lincoln Rockwell, the alien, press 1, is the one who was supplying them with their homes, financial backing. Once they realized they were on the same team, they said, oh, yeah, we can do that. They both the exact same carbon copy. February 1962, black man Hitler, let's say 16. But look, Rockwell said Elijah Muhammad was the black man's Adolf Hitler. That's what Rockwell said. And he was the one funding Press 1, but it wasn't Rockwell who had the money. You see that? It wasn't Rockwell who had the money. Guess who it was? It was H.L. Hunt. Press 1. You know who that is? Man, this nigga right here. This evil Mr. Burns right here. Press 1. This the guy they're suspecting murdered everybody at that time. It was his money. Mr. H.L. Hunt. Big oil tycoon. You talking about Rockefeller and this one. Look, all you got to do is follow the oil money. They want your land. Mr. H.L. Hunt, after all, what? This is the oil tycoon. It wasn't just him. See, he was funding who? The Nation of Islam. Sorry, I put up Candace Owens. Press 1. He was funding the Nation of Islam. What else was he? Was he the funder and founder of? He was the funder and founder of Aryan Nation Classroom. He is the Aryan. Press 1. He is the Nazi. Yes, sir and ma'am. Aryan. Hit the like button. Yes, sir. Aryan. You know what? Aryan Nation is a white supremacist German Bund. So you have a person who started the Nazi white KKK party, Press 1, funding the Nation of Islam. Let me get this straight. This billionaire oil tycoon who needs you off the land is paying Muslims to change your identity into a other identity and remove your black ass off the land. Without him, there is no Nation of Islam. This guy is the connections to the feds, the CIA. Yeah. Let's take a listen to what the white people got to say about them.
We're messing with our equipment here. You can tell. we like to do these kinds of things. Okay, again, just to very briefly kind of set you up what we're doing here again, Dave, perhaps you'd like to give them a very, very brief recap of some of the stuff that was in the first Radio Free America Aryan Nations broadcast.
Now, what we're really using the Aryan Nations title for here is kind of as an umbrella name, not only to cover the umbrella organization, the Aryan Nations, which is a neo-Nazi organization, but we're really using Aryan Nations as an opportunity to investigate the historical development and progress of American fascism. Now, one of the things that we were looking at is the intersection between the forces.
What? The development of American fascism. Yes, they give you a foreign national identity. Thank you. They give you a foreign national identity.
Bringing fascism to bear in Germany, and the forces bringing it to bear in the United States. Specifically.
So I asked Rizza, who's the enemy you was talking about, Rizza? Who's the enemy? When you was at the Nipsey Hussle, you was like, watch out for the enemy because they be around and you don't even know, and talking all of this shit. But in reality, you are the enemy. Who the enemy? What white man? The white man is the devil. Huh? Wow. Wow. Wow.
The transatlantic industrial axis, which was instrumental in arming Hitler's Third Reich, and which, as we looked at, also played a very key role in not only attempting to...
They wearing a bow tie just like them, ain't they? Press one. I told you. I told you.
Overthrow the U.S. government, but in financing domestic fascist groups toward that end. Now, one of the things that we looked at were two attempted military coup d'etat in the United States, two fascist coups. We looked at one in 1934.
Not 1934.
An attempted coup where the houses of Morgan and DuPont,
Not the houses of Morgan DuPont, what they do?
DuPont industrial family, which of course involves DuPont Chemical, also
not DuPont Chemical.
General Motors. The DuPont's
not General Motors.
Own a controlling interest in General Motors, and also the Morgan interests. The Morgans are bankers of long standing.
Not the Morgans, like Kev said.
And they have generally capitalized the DuPont's industrial enterprises. They loaned them the money for them to get these organizations started.
The DuPonts and the Morgans. Press one.
So the Morgans and DuPonts are inextricably linked. They are both part of the same industrial and financial group.
That's right.
Between them, and with some other interests, they were very much interested in getting rid of Franklin D. Roosevelt and the New Deal.
Didn't matter. That was nonsense theater as well, as Kevin proved. The only thing they want to do is get rid of black people, take their land and their resources off of here and engulf it in the federal government, which is then being controlled by the bankers, by Swiss banks in Rome, which is these evil fucks here. Press one, controlling the estates. These is where the souls are. This is where the whole world is eating off of America's, because the original black folk of this land were robbed of their wealth, and their children just sitting here in this big ass prison war camp, just here watching television, BBD bopping up the street. Meanwhile, chasing what? Rockefeller. Listen, that's a dream. You need to be worried about this guy.
Toward that end, in 1934, they instigated a fascist coup. Fortunately, the man who they picked to lead it was the former commandant of the Marine Corps, Smedley Butler, who, in spite of being an outspoken conservative and critic of the Roosevelt administration, he was not a fascist. He was a loyal constitutionalist, and so he betrayed that coup, and it never came off.
No, why? Because he was working for them. Their whole goal was to get black people off they mark. You working with communists, remember? Y'all working with foreign opposition. Why you know that? Because they were the foreign opposition they was working with.
It came very close to coming off, and one of the things...
The communists, the Nazis are interchangeable.
...that we looked at was the fact that General Douglas MacArthur was the first choice of the Morgan interests to head the coup. They were suspicious of Smedley Butler, with good reason, as it turns out, since he betrayed them. And one of the things we also looked at was the fact that MacArthur was the brother-in-law of a guy named Edward Stotesbury, who, in addition to being a financier of American fascism, was also a partner in the Morgan Bank and a fabulously wealthy man. MacArthur's first wife was his daughter.
They don't think we understand that Grover Cleveland gave Morgan all of the wealth that they robbed from. You see, they don't think we know that. How about they just be running their lips? Let's listen.
And one of the people that we looked at, we didn't fully appreciate his significance. We're going to go into that this evening. The other choice, the second choice of the Morgan group, was a guy named Hanford McNider. Now, Hanford McNider was described as a wealthy Iowa manufacturer and an American Legion member. What we did not know at the time and what we've learned since was that Hanford McNider was also a member of MacArthur's staff. He served under Douglas MacArthur in both World Wars. And we took a look at a number of different fascists who MacArthur had on his staff. General Charles Willoughby, his intelligence officer, who was German-born, pro-Franco, and a doctrinaire and outspoken fascist. We took a look at a guy named General Courtney Whitney, a virulent anti-Semite, who we're going to touch back on this evening. We took a look at a guy named General George Van Horn Moseley, and we're going to come back to him in a second. He was a doctrinaire fascist as well. We also took a look at a guy named Andres Soriano, who was Franco's representative in the Philippines, later a colonel on MacArthur's staff. Now, George Van Horn Moseley was a MacArthur staffer who was the choice of not only American fascists but also German intelligence to head up another attempted military coup d'etat.
Look. And here I am talking about how the Nazis won the war.
In 1939. That coup involved not only domestic American fascists, but also elements of German intelligence. And we looked at a number of different fascists who supported and worked with German intelligence and MacArthur staffer Van Horn Moseley. And we also found that many of these people, such as William Dudley Pelley of the Silver Shirts and Gerald L.K. Smith, were very big on having Douglas MacArthur for president in 1944. And we're going to take a look back at MacArthur's 44 presidential bid, if one could call it, this evening. Now, Gerald L.K. Smith ran a thing called the Christian Nationalist Party. He was a doctrinaire fascist, and his Christian Nationalist Party nominated Douglas MacArthur to be president in 1952. Now, the fellow who nominated him was none other than Wesley Swift, who was a key official of Gerald L.K. Smith's
They just a bunch of neo-Nazis.
party. He also was the founder of
and German spies, just like I said, and they subdued America. They got all these intelligence firms out here, and it's really just them. I mean, got y'all thinking they finna go to World War III and IV. Good, take y'all ass to war. Who cares? The thing is, there's the same people, and that's what makes the judgment of God righteous. Is that these are the same people. Vladimir ain't no different than a Ukrainian. A Ukrainian ain't no different than a South African. A South African ain't no different than an American citizen. You follow me? They just got these international passport changing identities and sigil codes. But Kev Gills is on it. Press one. But this right here is the founder, the funder and founder of Aryan. So all of German Bond, all of this stuff, this guy, when people throw the Nazi salute and the Roman salute, this is the guy.
the Aryan nations or the Christian
I wouldn't be surprised if this is Adolf Hitler, nigga.
Defense League or the Identity Movement, as it is variously known under its shifting series of titles. Now, one of the things that we're going to be looking at this evening, one of the questions we're going to be proposing, basically, is, was the assassination...
That boy Kev, smart as hell, huh? Look, got everybody looking at the screen like, hold up. Hey, listen, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't believe nothing these people say. Remember I told you, Adolf came over here. They brought all of these people over here, and they went to war with who? You. You own everything, so they used them to destroy you.
Assassination of President Kennedy, the culmination of a long
and Hitler said he learned it from here. Interesting.
Effort on the part of American fascists and elements within the military who resented civilian control of the military as our Constitution, which was established by our Constitution. And we're going to be asking, and we think obviously the answer is yes, is whether or not the assassination of President Kennedy represents the culmination of these events. We looked at two unsuccessful military coups involving or centering around MacArthur's staff, and we're going to take a look this evening at what we think was a successful military coup. Another thing we're going to be looking at is the development of German fascism on both sides of the Atlantic. Again, you can sort of think of German and American fascism as two halves of a tuning fork or a wishbone, where they're joined at the base, because really the forces bringing fascism to power in Germany as well as in the United States are basically that industrial axis of which the Morgans and DuPonts are part. So we're going to be looking at, again, intersections between German and American fascism, and both halves of the tuning fork, I guess you could say. And one of the things that we concluded the first broadcast with was a look at how the Nazi Party developed in Germany. In a nutshell, all of the democratic leaders of Germany were systematically assassinated by underground murder organizations which were set up by the German army. These operated in the 20s, long before Hitler...
Told you. I've been proving this. I got a video right now called The Code of the Black Sun, ready to go. We did this, look. And they flag of destruction is what?
Is the black sun.
Now, so we talking about the black sun. Okay, so we gonna get back to that.
Came to power, they were paving his way to power.
See, the Nation of Islam and the Order of the Black Sun, all this is connected. That's the order of, they're all Freemasonic Kabbalah worshiping, bit off the bad fruit of Islam. I'm proving it right now.
With corpses, specifically the corpses of the Democratic leadership.
It's not just white feds. It's them too. They ain't nothing but the little fringes that come off the side of the American flag. They operate by way of naval code. Press one. Kev got them. Look at your neighbor and say, that's why Kev ain't playing. They operate by naval code. It'd be right in front of our faces and we ain't peep game. All these little statistical females, T-900, T-900s, and Priscilla, and all these people are Navy bras. They all operate with Navy code. That's why the fringes on their hats is what? Maritime. Hit the like button and subscribe. You are the Nazi. You're the foreigner on our lands. I don't believe you. You help gentrify, destroy, and your little minions are the gangbangers. All y'all need to go. Gangbangers, Islamic forces need to retreat. You see the words. They need to retreat. Gangbangers like Nina Boy, Big U, and any of them are just there to destroy communities and bring the value down so bankers can come, SoftBank can come in, Asian banks can come in and buy your property for nothing because these men are worthless. Only thing they know is catching fades. They know nothing. So they was raised that way in Universe 25. They can't even tell you a good word. Why? Because they was inserted in the community to destroy it. And to get your kid caught up in gang activity and or murdered, be an innocent victim in the street. The only obligation, who brought the drugs in? The gangbangers. Where they get it from? The black bosses that came from the white man. Press one, see? The gangbangers. Who sell crack? The gangbangers. Who do flocking and gangbang in the street and rob people? Gangbangers. So what's the use of them? To destroy and pillage and take over. That's their job, like little pirates. To take over shit and just be like locusts and just eat up what they can chew and keep going. And see how many blocks they can chew up. But if you go to the hood and look at their community, it's shit. They don't own nothing. They just walk up the street and go to the liquor store and get orange juice on credit. Credit line. They be trying to get strawberry Shasta sodas on credit with a wife beater on. Talking about they make it cool to get 50-cent sodas on credit by the Hindu man who gonna hold you to that. Press one. Helping the Aryans redline the community. Yes, they need to redline the community. And that's what they're there for. The Nation of Islam is to help them redline the community. Yes. Don't you get it? That's it. Get it all messed up. And they are funded by way of contracts by who? Get it right. Look, look, you know what? We about to watch The Order of the Black Sun. Because I brought up something. We're going to get off a hunt real quick. Because I brought up something yesterday about the Order of the Black Sun. And, man, I'm going to continue this conversation. Because Mr. Hunt, yeah, that's their religious structure. The Black Sun, in context of nation of Islam, generally refers to the Nation of Islam. You know? So they need to tell us what the Black Sun is. Press 1. Because what I got from the Black Sun is y'all's a bunch of black Anunnaki Nazis who look like bugs in my community. Press 1. Look like bugs in my community. Hell no. We got to fix this. I'm trying to figure out where y'all got this Anunnaki shit from. And it's the Order of the Black Sun. We ain't supposed to know none of this shit. This is forbidden knowledge. Press 1. So if you want to watch a movie on Order of the Black Sun, just press 1 and let me know if we can go there. You can't be running, no. Okay? I'm going to do the reaction to it. But don't run. This is going to make the Chihuahuas chase you. Let's go. Okay, we know Kev got Order of the Black Sun, Chronos, and the Nazis. This is when we were figuring it out naturally. All of y'all are Order of the Black Sun. Look, even Cat Williams. Remember we was finding this? Well, hold up. Hold on. Kev is on y'all. So we went back and found these. But let's see how close we were. So when we go back and look over the notes, it's all there. Order of the Black Sun documentary. Ooh. I love movie day. Okay. What's that gonna say? Orion? What's this one?
Now time to take a short look at some of the ways that these Nephilim progeny, the descendants of the Atlanteans, have controlled the masses of mankind and how they've gone about activating this great ritual to their dark archons. One of the most powerful Freemasonic symbols is seen here on the left, and it is called the cross and the crown. Around that image we see in Latin, in hoc signe victe, which is in this sign I will conquer, attributed to the Emperor Constantine, one of the founders of Christianity. The cross and the crown. Now, the first international banking empire was created by the Knights Templar with their exploits during the Crusades.
So we just talked about this, but it was more recent.
Martin Luther's 16th century Protestant Reformation.
You hear that? Wasn't Martin Luther King Catholic? Then he became Protestant?
Was largely funded by the emerging merchant and banking classes of Germany.
Did we find out that Martin Luther King was actually funded by the German? Listen! Their time immemorial is real now.
Germany, who sought to wrest financial control from the papacy. It's also interesting to note that if you go to Wittenberg or you go to Worms and you go and look
Bruh.
with their exploits during the
Bruh.
Crusades, Martin
This is some weird time interdimensional shit, right? Right. So what's really being conveyed here? Is it a story? Or is it really Martin Luther King and Martin Luther having the same lifetime? Is it a coded? What is it? It's up to us to figure that out. But wow. Wow, we just found that out about Martin Luther King yesterday.
16th century Protestant Reformation was largely funded by the emerging merchant and banking classes of Germany who sought to wrest financial control from the papacy.
You got it?
It's also interesting to note that if you go to Wittenberg or you go to Worms...
Now, either that or I'm just a time traveler, astro projecting ass nigga. Press who sees it in the past as well. This is like, what? Run that by me one more gear.
The papacy. The cross and the crown. Now, the first international banking empire was created by the Knights Templar with their exploits during the Crusades. Martin Luther's 16th century Protestant Reformation was largely funded.
So honestly, if we read the Crusades, y'all hear me? Press one if you follow me. You're going to see the whole genocide of Black America. Because their Crusades is time immemorial. The codes is written in the fucking literature. Dude, who understands me? The codes is written in the literature. Time immemorial isn't real per se. It was real in that time, not that one. You understand? So if you're a scholar and you see it, you're like, wait, Martin Luther, wait a minute. No, but this was the 16th century where he became, that's nonsense. The coded shit is what? Martin Luther King funding, bro. We just figuring this shit out, bro. Stop.
Emerging merchant and banking classes of Germany who sought to wrest financial control from the papacy.
And this is Germany right here. This is German right here, sitting right here. Y'all don't stop this madness. That's why we having fun. Hey, Blackie, you're going to have two choices. Press one. Them Germans ain't playing. I've sold my people into a burning house. Or however the term was. So you're going to see a lot of coinky dink in the 16th century, in the 19th and 20th.
It's also interesting to note that if you go to Wittenberg or you go to Worms and you go and look at the original documents of Martin Luther, you'll find that on the leather-bound covers you'll see the rose cross, the symbols of the Rosicrucians. So here is the person purported to be the founder of a modern Christian religion, and yet he's funded by secret societies and even has their logos on the front covers.
Oh, ain't that we just discovered yesterday with MLK and Malcolm? Let's go.
Books. The exact same logo.
Listen, the Rome used the Muslims to destroy the Christians in the Crusades. Okay, Kevin's perspective, in Kevin's world. Rome used the NOI to destroy African Americans. You got it? It's the same thing. Rome uses the Arab Muslim to destroy and conquer Jerusalem. Okay. Rome needed Jerusalem in this land here, God's people, so he, boom, used the Arab Moors to coup d'etat, the niggas. It's the same thing, bro. Now, time don't repeat itself. I don't believe nothing you say. No. You just told the story in allegorical format at 0 point and went backward. And 0 point just a few grandmas ago. Shut the fuck up. Press one. You went backwards and put yourself in history and got motherfuckers thinking, shit, Luke. It's not Luke. Nigga, Kev gonna put an end to this spooky shit. You got one chance and you got one way, nigga. It's not Luke. They don't know the mind of God, so they artificially inseminated the thought process and fooling us. That's what it is. Einstein wasn't smart because his hair was messed up. These neo-Nazis. Press one. That's facts. They know. What do I always say? They know everything the Knights of Templars was doing and don't know what happened yesterday. If they don't knock it off,
turn up on the American dollar bill and on the Tudor dynasty. The church exerted a complete stranglehold over all forms of intellectual life and education from early on in its unholy alliance with Rome until the 12th century. The respect for education that was one of the great distinguishing characteristics of the classical Roman Empire was swept away. This is Tim Wallace Murphy in his book Rosslyn, speaking about the coming of the Dark Ages. Thomas Jefferson also says, the clergy converted the simple teachings of Jesus into an engine for enslaving the world.
Told you.
And adulterated by artificial constructions into a conniving
I just said that.
to filch wealth and power to themselves.
And steal
These
it.
clergy, in fact, constitute the real Antichrist.
Told you.
At the top of the crown of the Queen of England, we find the Malta Cross. The Queen is the head of the Knights of Malta.
That's
secret
right.
Society. And the Nazis
That's why her ass died.
used also the Malta Cross. But this is a very ancient device.
Look, the Russians and the press one, Kev on everybody.
The Nazis.
I'm on my Tupac shit. So when I say, yeah, y'all gonna speak, it's time. Shout out to my man Ali. Thank you for that contribution. Bocat, Jason Harris, Cedric Jefferson. Gotta warm up the squad, you feel me?
Also used the oak leaves,
Look,
the skull and bones of the pirates, and the eagle, the old Habsburg symbol, the old skull and bones.
the skull and bones of the naval code, but it's really who transported the blacks? Moors. The Moors were the seafarers and the porters. They transported black people. They was in charge of the slave trade, Moorish, Arab, Muslim. The illegal slave trade that happened to our people, not way back then, recently. They don't want us to remember. But guess who remembers? Kev, following history.
Symbol of the Knights Templar, the Knights of Malta Cross, and
Look,
the oak leaves of the
they are the Knights Templar.
ancient Druids. Now one might ask, what on earth, again, in the military, in something that has to do with mass death and mass casualty?
Told you.
What are oak leaves doing? On the lapels, we find oak leaves around the hats of the French military. We find them on the lapels of the Russian military. In fact, we find acorns on the hats of the cavalry of the United States of America. Ancient Druidic.
That's their pineal gland. You know it's opened up like an acorn? Press one, look. Ooh. X marks the target. Oh.
Bardic symbols of theological elites now found on the uniforms of the military mass murderers of the world.
What the fuck?
That's right. The reason is, as I said, if you're going to sacrifice somebody to the macrobes, you have to mark them for death. You not only have to send a person to the right ritualistic place, but
Boom.
you have to have them dressed for the ritual.
Boom. Say it again. They're going to line you up something special. Huh. Now stop. Hit that like button. Join the Patreon. Join the movement. Hit that Cash App. We on the tear right now. It's a great time to be alive, family. One of the greatest times to be alive is Revelations.
Now found on the uniforms of the military mass murderers of the world. That's right. The reason is, as I said, if you're going to sacrifice somebody to the macrobes, you have to mark them for death. You not only have to send a person to the right ritualistic place, but you have to have them dressed for the ritual. The virgin must be dressed for the ritual. They must be marked for death. So you put a bunch of occult symbols on them and send them out to die.
Wow. Wow, not like this. Not like this, family.
The individual just looks in the mirror and thinks they look damn good. But they don't
They thinking they look good.
realize what these occult symbols
They don't even know. You marked yourself for death.
mean. The ribbons and the bells and the whistles and the badges and the emblems of state, the coins, the flags, all the heraldry. It has a meaning in occult theocracy.
Wow. This is unfucking believable.
In America, we have the Ku Klux Klan. This word originally comes from the Greek kuklos, which meant the Knights of the Golden Circle. Now, the Grand Master refers to himself as the dragon. They wear the Knights of Malta cross. They burn crosses, wear white robes like the Knights Templar, and have a racist ideology. And we'll be coming back to the Ku Klux Klan a little bit later. Now, we see the Knights of Malta cross together with the symbol of the dove on the maces of the Queen of England. And it turns out that the Spanish or old word for dove is Columb. And that's why we have the District of Columbia, Columbia Pictures and Records, Columbia Shuttle, all the drugs coming from Colombia, South America. We have British Columbia and we have Christopher Columbus. But the word Columbus means the doves. The Knights of Columbus is a secret fraternity run by the Queen of England. It does not represent the Holy Spirit. If we look today on the
Wow, these people are insane. Y'all see this?
Visa credit cards on the right-hand side, you'll see the little symbol of the dove. And people never ask, what does this symbol, this so-called holy symbol, it's meant to represent the Holy Spirit, what's it doing on the credit cards? Well, it is a dove, but it has nothing to do with the Holy Spirit. It has to do with a secret fraternity known as the Knights of Columbus. The Knights of Malta Cross is also known as the Black Sun. And of course, the Black Sun is the symbol of the Smithsonian Institute in America. And the swastika was even referred to by the Nazis as a black sun. Himmler never got tired of calling the Nazis an order, a lodge, a black lodge. Now the Anunnaki, which is the ancient Sumerian word for the fallen angels, is very close to the word Nazi. One of the 8 children of the mother goddess, Ninharsag, Naz, was also refers to Canis Major, a constellation that Sirius occupies. Again, Jesus of Nazareth, from Nasir, meaning Sirius, is also known as the Black Sun. And of course, the Black Sun is the symbol of the Smithsonian Institute in America. And the swastika was even referred to by the Nazis as a black sun. Himmler never got tired of calling the Nazis an order, a lodge, a black lodge. Now the Anunnaki, which is the ancient Sumerian word for the fallen angels, is very close to the word Nazi. One of the
So Nas, press 1. This is beyond the constellation of Ceres, Canis Major. Oh no, not Sputnik. Canis is Dog Major. This is the goddess, the 8 children of the mother goddess.
Of the mother goddess, Ninharsag, Naz was also refers to Canis Major, a constellation that Sirius occupies. Again, Jesus of Nazareth, from Nasir, meaning Sirius. The Knights of Malta Cross is seen here on the picture on the left in ancient Pictish. These are the Picts of Scotland using not only the serpent, not only the swastika, but the Knights of Malta Cross. A very ancient symbol. But the fact that we see it here with the serpent is very suggestive. Here again we see it on ancient lances of the Teutonic peoples. Now of course, just like the old Atlanteans, we have the Nazis being very interested in the concept of race and eugenics and genetics, in polygamy and population control. We also have the phenomena of Siamese twins and midgets and deformities and blemishes and the extra nipple and whatnot. Witches were burned for their blemishes. We have congenital hemophilia. We have the ritual of bonding by blood. We have freaks, the whole concept of the Siamese twins that comes down to us, that just put down to us as being freakish, individuals, strange mutations. But could these not be throwbacks to genetic manipulations and genetic experiments that were being done not too far back in our Earth history? Now, Charles Darwin, who wrote Origin of the Species, what we often don't realize is the full title of that book. The full title was Origin of the Species and the Preservation of the Favored Races.
That's not you, nigga. Press 1. That's not you. You're not a part of the favored race. They believe in Charles Darwin and white supremacy. Charles Darwin is a Nazi. Order of the Black Sun, exterminus. See, they just want you to get caught on he thought about the Big Bang. No, no, no. The origin of the species and the preservation of favored races. This is American history. Do you understand the words that is coming out of press 1? Y'all teach white. America is white supremacist. Y'all science is white supremacist. Well, y'all think y'all heroes are all, and it's sad because it's like, damn, we can see a big Nazi logo over this whole book. But let's continue on.
Charles Darwin was also funded by occultists, specifically the Royal Academy. Now, Herbert Spencer, the philosopher, while Darwin got the credit, the leading proponent of this chilling racial evolutionary theory was Herbert Spencer, whose ideas were based on race. Spencer was more explicit than Darwin in his conclusion. Only one race was capable of ascending to the highest levels of the evolutionary spiral.
I told you.
The others would be left behind. So here we have an occult agenda of blood, of race, and of mass murder. Because remember, the pontifications of philosophers in the 19th century and of the 20th century are being carried out, they're being implemented in the world. The Nazis implementing occult theocracies coming from occult societies, like the Thule Society and the Freemasons and the occultists of the ancient world. Ordo Templi
It's
Orientis.
all occultic.
In America and Britain, it's no different. The Knights Templar, the Knights of Columbus, the Freemasons.
They all the Kabbalah. Damn, bro. Damn.
The Nazis are steeped, as anyone who studies their symbolism can see, in occultism.
Yep.
They often refer to themselves as the Order of the Black Sun.
Told you.
The official historians now generally accept that occult orders, some very ancient and some new, were operating behind the Nazi Party and other political parties in Germany.
Told
The
you.
same historians seem conspicuously reluctant, however, to transpose these facts to the British and American political milieu, even when ample evidence exists to prove it, and even when many of the elites of the European occult orders, plus industrialists, publishers, and scholars, were related to international aristocratic families and dynasties.
I fucking knew it.
It is a fact that the Vatican helped Hitler to gain power and then helped him to consolidate his grip on Germany.
I told you. The Vatican supported Hitler, Marcus Garvey, all these people, man. Dr. Martin Luther King, bro. And all of this destruction, the Vatican. Okay? So when we saying black power, you're speaking from the perspective that you're black. And you're only black because the church made you that way. The Order of the Black Sun, man.
This was done in part by advising the Catholic Party of Germany to vote for the Nazi candidates. The Third Reich is the first power which not only recognizes but puts into practice the high principles of the papacy, This is Franz von Papen, second only in command to Adolf Hitler, is literally telling you that the Third Reich is implementing the principles of the Vatican.
It was the
principles
Catholic
of
Church, by way of the Red Cross, that the identities was changed from German to American. Press 1. See? Yeah.
the papacy. But who are the papacy officiating for? Now, of course, when we talk here in programs like this about the Vatican, please understand that we're not talking about Roman Catholicism as a religion. There's a very great difference between Roman Catholicism as a practicing religion and Vatican, the institution of Catholicism, the institution of the Vatican, the nation state, the state within a state. These are two completely different animals here. Behind one of the great thinkers and philosophers behind the Nazi Party, close friend to Rudolf Hess and to Adolf Hitler, was Karl Haushofer. He created what is known as geostrategical theory. He propounded it, and he was the teacher of Rudolf Hess, and Rudolf Hess introduced Haushofer to Adolf Hitler. It's a very important character to study. In the Origins and Oracles series, we have a program called Evil's Willing Servants, and we go into a little bit of Haushofer's background. It makes very interesting listening. One of the most powerful occult societies behind the politics of Germany was called the Thule Society, or the Thule Society, founded in 1912 by Rudolf von Bottendorf, a major Freemason, an expert in Islamic and Oriental mysticism. In 1918, Thule member Karl Harrier forms the Workers' Political Circle, and in 1919 he renames that the German Workers' Party, later headed by Adolf Hitler, who took over from mystic.
Not the Workers' Union Party, not Hitler. Oh my goodness. So the Wobblies, see? It's over.
Dietrich Eckart. It became the Nazi Party. Now the word Tula, or Thule, means northerly place or homeland, and it refers to Atlantis. Again, one of the thinkers specifically beloved by Adolf Hitler was called Jorge Lanz, one of the most important of all Nazi ideologists. Jorge Lanz von Liebenfels was an ex-Cistercian monk who published the magazine Ostara. After being expelled from his monastery, he formed his own Order of the New Templars. Adolf Hitler and other Nazis collected and read Ostara and thought of Lanz as a veritable guru. There's the front cover of Ostara, and as you can see, clearly shown there is a Knights Templar. Now, the master race, as they referred themselves to, these terms, we've become so enamored to them, we don't even think anymore what they really mean. Master race. Who are the racialists? Who are those who control the genes of mankind? Who are those who try to separate and segregate the human race based on genetics and eugenics and racial hygiene? Who were the original ones? We see only the Nazis. They're a modern rendition of this ancient problem. They were Satanists who practiced black magic, says Traver Ravenscroft, author of The Spear of Destiny. This means that they were solely concerned with raising their consciousness by means of rituals to awareness of evil and non-human intelligences in the universe, and with achieving means of communication with these intelligences. Now, closer to home, when the tomb of Yale University, that's the tomb of the Skull and Bones secret fraternity, was raided by Christian students, the decor was almost purely Nazi in nature. Maltese crosses, swastikas, and so on were found therein. And the number 322, which is the lodge of the Skull and Bones Society, is actually the German lodge number of this fraternity. It is controlled by German secret societies such as the Illuminati and the OTO and the Thule. And Joel Bakan, in his fine book, The Corporation, says, in its July 1934 issue, Fortune magazine extolled the virtues of fascism and the economic miracles wrought by Mussolini. Lord Goldsborough, the man who produced the issue, wrote, the good journalist must recognize in fascism certain ancient virtues of the race, whether or not they happen to be fashionable in his own country. So there we have it, ties between modern American industrialists and politicians and ancient.
Are y'all hand gestures the same as neo? Let me stop. Y'all is pathetic.
Societies and German occultists. Now, have we been told all along that the ritual sacrifices have been going on? Let's look at the etymology. We've been told that there's a nuclear war. We've been told that there's an atomic war. What do these words actually refer to? Ooh. What does the word nuclear or nuclear...
Now, ain't that something? Because you got to go to the breakdown of words.
...actually refer to? What does the word atomic actually refer to? Does it really refer to reds under the beds and SDI and bombs dropping at you from the skies?
This is it.
Or is it something much closer to home, something slightly more biological, something more of a Cold War, one that would never heat up at all? And what are the Star Wars? And now that the ritual centers have been designed and built, and now that the masses of the population live in the cities of the world, the next stage is easy. All the unrest, all the slaughter, all the mayhem, all the bloodletting, from the Holocaust to the assassinations. We have in Ireland, for instance, tremendous unrest there, constant unrest in Palestine, in Guyana, in Waco, in Heaven's Gate, in Columbine school disaster, in Oklahoma city bombing, or the Twin Towers, or the Gulf War. All these traumas visited upon members of the human race. In Waco, the great comedian Bill Hicks said, if child molestation is actually your concern, then how come we don't see Bradley tanks knocking down Catholic churches?
Ooh.
Now, since the Second World War, the U.S. has bombed 250 countries. That's actually since 1948, with the Bretton Woods Agreement. But before they were called the League of Nations.
The League of Nations. Remember we talked that? Remember we talked about the League of Nations? The White League. Remember?
Nations, they were called the League to Enforce the Peace. Previous to that, they were called the American Society for the Judicial Settlement of International Disputes.
Look, here we go. Oh, there go your passport, bitch. Y'all all white people. The first chairman was William Howard Taft of Skull and Bones. Fat ass Grover Cleveland and them. Remember?
Now this society was created in 1920 by Theodore Marburg.
So this is your maritime. The piece is the Nazi logo.
And its first chairman was William Howard Taft of the Skull and Bones Society. Secretaries of War of the U.S. are commonly Skull and Bones members right up to the modern day. And Geneva is home to the League of Nations and to the Bilderberger Group. Concerning the slaughter and mayhem, Count Leo Tolstoy, the great author, said that government is an association of men who do violence to the rest of us. How right he is. And Manly Palmer Hall, one of America's greatest and most beloved occultists, also a 33rd degree Mason, puts it this way: to repress rebellion is to maintain the status quo, a condition which binds the mortal creature in a state of intellectual or physical slavery. But it is impossible to chain man merely by slaving his body. The rebellion is to... A Manly chairman was William Howard Taft of the Skull and Bones Society. Secretaries of War of the U.S. are commonly Skull and Bones members right up to the modern day. And Geneva is home to the League of Nations and to the Bilderberger Group. Concerning the slaughter and mayhem, Count Leo Tolstoy, the great author, said that government is an association of men who do violence to the rest of us. How right he is. And Manly Palmer Hall, one of America's greatest and most beloved occultists, also a 33rd degree Mason, puts it this way: to repress rebellion is to maintain the status quo, a condition which binds.
That's Manly P. Hall. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's Manly P. Hall. Oh, y'all don't gave y'all whole sovereignty to Nazi mind control. So this is the Manly P. Hall. That's the Masons' is name. It's over. This is Satan. What the fuck is that's Lucifer? You ain't never seen Lucifer in the cave? That's him. The fuck is y'all doing? This is a mind control magician. The fuck? So he really did. Excuse me. Create y'all. That's why RZA is in Scientology.
The mortal creature in a state of intellectual or physical slavery.
Physical or intellectual slavery. That's what you're in. An intellectual servitude position. And that's what I'm saying they get paid to keep you in.
But it is impossible to chain man merely by slaving his body. The mind must also be held. And to accomplish this,
the mind must be contained.
Fear is the accepted weapon.
Fear
the common man must
is the I don't believe it.
Fear life, fear death, fear God, and fear devil, and fear most his overlords, the keepers of his destiny.
And those are your Moorish and Masonic black imp. Never mind. Oh my goodness. Oh, your whole structure. The whole structure. I'm laying it down. Make sure you contribute to this page. Wow. 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 I didn't even want to get on this today. I was like, Lord, and then I saw the blessing of God when I was like, Lord, I don't even want to get on. I was looking for an excuse not to get on, Ali. I was looking for one of y'all to make an excuse on why I wasn't getting on this dang computer today, because my head hurt. And I was like, man, I don't want to. And I was looking for any reason to get out of coming online today. I was looking like a mother. How can I not? This is too powerful. You feel me? And then that Bible scripture came in, and guess what it say in the Bible app? It gave me a little confidence. Press one. I was looking for any reason. Ali, let me tell you. I don't want to. That Bible verse came on today, and guess what? It said, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Press one. Hit the like button. I said, oh, it's go time. I was looking for something. Press one. It's time to shine. So you telling me, Playboy, that this is where the restraint come from. This is where it come from. We sit up here every day and say they can't contain the G. They can if you are mute. This is y'all God right here. This is y'all psychological demon right here who put all the demon plant inside of your brain that gave you fear. It's a little devil in there, and Manly P. Hall is his name. Press one. You are under a hypnotic, torturous, hellish mental condition. That's what you under. You're a mind-controlled cult. That's what you under. You need to be saved. Your mind is full of demons trying to break free. Press one, going through ritualistic chakra magic and trying to do this one and bit off the wrong tree, and y'all got the nerve to try to come against Mr. Motherfucking Gillespie when I've been sent to wake you up from Lucifer's grip on your life, nigga. Press 1. How dare you? And the silence in you to let me know how much of Luciferianism, which is Manly P. Hall psychological program, mind control, split the mind of Adam to contain him. For his body can't be the only thing in chains, playboy. His mind, I was looking for you, demon. And the white man is the devil because he created you. Why you ain't brought up this white man? Farrakhan is a Mason. Press 1. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is y'all God. This is y'all prince. This is y'all devil. This is Satan. Right here on the motherfucking screen, looking like Lucifer himself. I know he looked like Lucifer, because if you just go right on over to Google, press 1, and you just type in Google, and you type in Lucifer, right? Go to images and just type in Lucifer. You don't look like him. Here we go, right here, the punk ass nigga. I know Lucifer when I see him. Press 1. I know him. It'll never change. Watch this. Look. Here we go right here. Here we go right here. Press 1. What? That's not Manly P. Hall? Get out of town. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's him. That's all they have. Press 1. I'm proving it. Back to back to back to back to back to back. Back to back to back to back. Back to back to back to back. Damn. 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 Is that him? That's him? Look. That's him. Lest that man of sin be revealed. Yeah, this him. This is sin right here. This who printed in us. This who put the mind control on the Eastern stars. This who put the mind control on the Muslim. This put the mind control on the Christian allegorical concept. This is how you break Adam. Press 1. This is Tesla, nigga. Press 1. This Tesla. This is what they afraid of. They don't want Kev to get this far. Press that, yeah. Hit that like button and subscribe and contribute. You ain't never heard this Lucifer. Right here, buddy. Right here. I can see it in his eyes. A big psychological. This is how we gonna break they black asses. They can still walk around dead at this level. Press 1, they'll never get out this mind control, mind fuck. In fact, we gonna teach it to them like it's a religion. Press 1, we gonna tell them this one is the ancestor, this one is Leo, this one is this one, this one is this one, and they gonna partake in their own demise. Press 1. They can never be Aryans. Boy, if you didn't know this, the common man must fear every goddamn thing. Press 1. Here go your boy, the head of the Manly P. Hall. Shout out to y'all. But guess what? That's sin. That's Lucifer. That's the mind-controlled magician trickster right there. That's the nigga from The Illusionist. This motherfucker got all type of tricks and cons up his sleeve. Snake oil salesman. Got it all in his face. Press 1. Tough and looks trying to pass off his aura through photography, but really nothing. Press 1. I just roam in the earth. Then look at all the destruction came out this shit. So they needed these niggas like gatekeepers and all this to protect what? To protect them. The white man is the devil fail-safe program. What door do you choose? Huh? You choose this one or this one, Kev? You want to save Zion? And no, we're not doing. Fuck the doors. Fuck the choices. KevRow. Who said y'all dictating any goddamn thing any damn way? Because now that we know the hypnotic effect of the nation of moon worship all come from this. Listen, we don't found this nigga. And we not even addressing it like it's a Mason thing. It ain't even nothing to be scared of. This shit is actually pathetic. This is like Monsters, Inc. Where they gods at? He compartmentalized your brain. Him, Walt Disney, all these motherfuckers did this shit. It made you think, it made you fear your own stuff, like the word of God. And you don't want to go back to God so bad because you don't bit off the same mushroom tree these people bit off of. That's one. We was supposed to be looking for H.L. Hunt, but guess what? We went further. Motherfucker, fuck the German bund. Fuck them. We going straight to the psychological effect. Remember? Who did this to my mind? Who's keeping my friend Ali submerged underwater? You get what I'm saying? Who did this? And look at this piece of shit here. Press 1. This is y'all gonna deny Christ and deny the one true person who can save you from this. Press 1 only to find out this one big mind controlled Willy Wonka program. Press 1. This is a goddamn shame. Y'all doing all this God body work for a white man. Hey, yo, listen. Hey, yo, calm that shit down. It's 7 dimensions. It's 7 dimensions in your goddamn brain. Who told you about this? Albert Einstein? No. Manly P. Hall and how to control a nigga. How to keep Adam fucked off. Press 1. And keep him in sin. You got me? This Loki, nigga. Keep him in disarray. Keep his mind not at peace. Make him feel like he always doing something wrong. Is he missing something? And then send Eve after him, a materialistic ass Eve, and let her destroy his life. So he'll never get back to God. Press 1 and have a sound mind. He don't even look like he wants you to have a sound mind. Press 1, this, that old... Press 1, what you been experiencing, Mr. Gillespie, as he play with his spoon and his teacup and hypnotize me. This day Tesla right here. They need to meet mind. White man ain't never invented nothing but how to mind control a dumb nigga and sell bad things to good people. He ain't never invented a spoon or a fork. He ain't invented shit. He just tricked you. That's all it is, because he's a trickster. And when I say white man, I'm talking about this white man and all the OTO, OVO, nigga corporations that's out there that was behind the splitting of the atom's mind. Damn. I'm talking about this every day. And look who I ran across. Damn. I see why the Muslims don't like me, because they like, damn, this nigga gonna get to Scientology. Manly P. Hall and them. Yep, the Fraternal Order and the Knights Templar. Here it is. Here it is. And y'all not gonna get out here and defend Manly P. Hall? This white man, y'all not gonna defend him? Press Lucifer, look at him. They not even gonna defend your white ass. Look at you. They not even gonna defend you, boy. Press one. Hey, boy, they not gonna defend you because they weak. You gonna program some weak niggas who thought they voodoo magic was something. But it's nothing. It's nothing when you got the shield and arm. But the devil know that. They scared of a sound mind. Press 1, that's why he had to split your brain up and turn you into a mute. The reason why you can't talk is because the cat got your tongue. This nigga right here told you to shut the fuck up in your brain. Before you speak in my classroom, this gonna be the white man that's stopping you. When they say the white man, this him. The white man got you, don't want you to speak. He got mind control over you by the history you've been implanted with them dumbass books. Hit the like button and subscribe. We got there, yeah.
Also, a 33rd degree Mason puts it this way: to repress rebellion is to maintain the status quo.
Told you. A
condition which binds the mortal creature in a state of intellectual or physical slavery. But it is impossible to chain man merely by slaving his body. The mind must also be held, and to accomplish this, fear is the accepted weapon. The common man must fear life, fear death, fear God, and fear devil, and fear most his overlords, the keepers of his destiny. So it goes for urban life. And now Aldous Huxley, in his book The Final Revolution, one of the people very
And so it goes for urban life, nigga.
much in
Say hello to Universe 25.
to control of the masses, writes, there will be, in the next generation or so, a pharmacological method of making people love their servitude and producing dictatorships without tears, so to speak. Producing a kind of painless concentration camp for entire societies so that people will, in fact, have their liberties taken away from them,
Man, you're talking about y'all in Universe 25. You see this?
but will rather enjoy it, because they will be distracted from any desire to rebel by propaganda, brainwashing, or brainwashing enhanced by pharmacological methods.
It's 1950.
And this seems to be the final revolution. That's right. As the Nazis had a final solution for their victims, so these thinkers and potentates and politicians, they're working on the final solution for the rest of us. But we're going to enjoy it, of course. Now, one of the major occultists in Europe was called Count Cagliostro, and he was one of the individuals also working on the Stargate problem. His real name was Giuseppe Balsamo, and he was a ruthless and a very enigmatic character. And being a Freemason, he actually invented one of Freemasonry's rites. It's called Cagliostro's Egyptian rite. But this involved a virginal boy or girl as an oracle, or even as a priest. And these virgins were known in Masonic circles as the Columb, or the doves. So here we have Cagliostro's Egyptian rite, a rite that involves virginal boys or girls in the form of the priest or the oracle. But they're known by the name the doves. And the Spanish for that is Columb. So anybody remember Columbine High School and the sacrifices of the young children there? Were they oracles too, in some sort of Masonic rite? We have Applewhite and the priesthood of Saturn. Saturnian symbolism is also very prevalent in Freemasonry. And this particular Heaven's Gate cult, the very word Heaven's Gate, we already looked earlier at Saturn and the gate of the south, which is a correspondence of death. And the fact that they wore black attire and the Nike logo. The Nike logo is actually the corner of the rings of Saturn. And the fact that the men in Heaven's Gate were castrated. Anyone who studied ancient mythology knows that Saturn
I'm trying to tell you, bro, this shit wow.
and the sickle of Saturn and the castration of his father Uranus, all of these symbols coming out of the ancient world. Now, large doses of fear, trepidation, and agony were released during the 9/11 episode, not only from New York, but all over the world. This event was staged at the site of a powerful vortex or synchronic line. So yes, as part of the great rituals and traumas, we're not going to have just one. Fear, of course, as Huxley and as Manly Palmer Hall are saying, is the best way to control. Since has this to say, it is only by eliminating the lower members of the human race that the higher average is maintained. And Jacques Cousteau, UNESCO courier, on November 1991 said, the United Nations goal is to reduce population selectively by encouraging abortion, forced sterilization, and control human reproduction.
I told you. My stomach hurt. I sat up here all these years and sat up right here and told you that's the plan. That's the extermination. That's the it, bro. These people are insane. This is an extermination, forced sterilization, and all that shit. But for real, black women, they use y'all to exterminate y'all babies. for population control. They entice you to be liberal and throw y'all bodies away, to throw babies out there and donate them to sickle cell. Donate them to Dr. Fauci. Press one. Wow, is what I got to say. I'm disappointed, and everybody stands convicted. Mr. motherfucking Gillespie, look at that one. It's a beautiful time to be alive. That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's going to be quiet around this motherfucker. Oh, yeah, ain't too much partying going on when this type of shit going on. This is why you ain't got a peace of mind. And liberal means Catholic. I don't believe it. See that shit? 1828. Now you see that? Now you see that? The whole thing is about extermination. Now let's listen to him.
Two-thirds of the human populace, that the higher average is maintained. And Jacques Cousteau, UNESCO courier, on November 1991 said, the United Nations goal is to reduce population selectively by encouraging abortion, forced sterilization, and control human reproduction, and regards two-thirds of the human population as excess baggage, with 350,000 people to be eliminated per day. And the master of them all, Bertrand Russell, in his Impact of Science on Society, had this to say: at present, the population of the world is increasing at about
350,000 dead niggas a day.
58,000 per diem. War so far has had no very great effect on this increase, which continued throughout each of the world wars. War has hitherto been disappointing in this respect, but perhaps bacteriological war may prove effective. If a Black Death could spread throughout the world in every generation, survivors could procreate freely without making the world too full. The state of affairs might be unpleasant.
Bro,
but what of it?
Stop. Huh? I don't believe it. And y'all gonna sit around and be mutes and go through the extermination chamber?
We have Prince Philip, quoted in the Deutsche Press Agentur in August 1988, said, in the event I am reborn, I would like to return as a deadly virus in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation. Now, the Institute of Human Virology, we read that according to top pharmacologist Dr. Robert B. Strecker, MD, PhD, the leading scientist of the project, that AIDS virus was created at Fort Detrick, but was based on research first conducted at the Lebedev Institute near Moscow, which was founded by the world's leading virologist, Geroge. The number of those infected doubles every month. Over 23 million Americans are already affected. In the Strecker Memorandum, in the 30s and 40s, the Public Health Service openly experimented and monitored black men infected with syphilis in Tuskegee, Alabama. Even after penicillin was discovered, these men remained infected and were not treated. Hence, their wives and sons were likewise infected. These incidents are recorded in detail in the book Bad Blood by James Jones. Between 1959 and 1970, there were over 300 biological experiments conducted on U.S. citizens unbeknownst to them. The extent of the program is revealed in the book A Higher Form of Killing by Paxman and Harris. That's from Dr. Robert Strecker's The Strecker Memorandum. Now here it is on DVD. This Dr. Robert Strecker, conclusively proves that AIDS was vector-borne, that AIDS was a man-made designer disease to create havoc in the world, exactly according to the policies of Bertrand Russell and Aldous Huxley and his coterie. This is absolute compulsory viewing. The Strecker Memorandum by Dr. Robert Strecker. He was one of the first people to work on the AIDS virus and knows everything there is to know about it. In the final revolution, Aldous Huxley says, "It seems to me perfectly in the cards that a euphoric drug far more efficient and less harmful than alcohol may be produced. And if this should be introduced into every bottle of Coca-Cola, then clearly, as I ventured to point out more than 25 years ago in Brave New World, this would become an incredibly powerful instrument in the hands of a dictator. What is becoming, I think, quite clear now is that dictatorships of the future probably will not be based on terror as the dictatorships of Hitler and Stalin. Terror is an extremely wasteful, stupid, and inefficient method of controlling people. In Brave New World, the distribution of this mysterious drug, which I call the soma, was a plank in the political platform. Dr. Wright refers to inoculation against smallpox in the British Isles as an ancient practice. And a citizen of Wales, aged 99 years old, states that inoculations had been known and used during his entire lifetime, but that she got smallpox through her inoculation. In Birmingham, England, from 1871 to 1874, there were 7,706 cases of smallpox. Out of these, 6,795 had been...
I got to get back to work. This is disgusting. I don't even know which angle to approach, whether it be Nation of Islam or straight up. But as I said before the show, things are changing over here at KevRow University. I have 173 people in the chat, almost 200 people, and I don't even got 30 students in my classroom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pack all this little together into the Order of the Black Sun lecture. It's been a hell of a ride here at KevRow University, but all of this has come to the conclusion, and I can't go any further, especially with the support I got. I really don't get support here. This is all freestyle. This is all just me. Shout out to Ali. Shout out to Bocat. Shout out to Jason Harris, and shout out to Cedric. But this information is too important, and I work too hard not to be compensated and be doing my lectures already. So I'll see y'all over at Patreon. Only the real students will survive. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, as far as the 200 people up in here, yeah, I hope y'all learned something today. I really do. I broke down the black genocide. I don't watch people come and go. Treat this classroom like it was nothing. And Kev was right the whole motherfucking time. All the way got down to the devil, Satan, sin himself, who implanted the psychological fear in your... That's a lot for one man to bear. KevRow. And as always,